There are moments in life when the weight of uncertainty feels almost unbearable. You lie awake at night thinking about tomorrow, wondering how things will work out, asking questions that seem to have no answers. Your mind runs through every possible scenario, every fear, every doubt. You worry about your future, your family, your finances, your purpose. And the more you think, the heavier your heart becomes. But there is a truth that can change everything about the way you see your life. You are not walking through this world without direction. Your life is not a random series of events. There is a divine plan unfolding, even when you cannot see it. Many people believe that if they worry enough, they will somehow control the outcome of their lives. They think that constant anxiety will prepare them for what might happen. But worry has never solved a single problem. It steals your peace, drains your strength, and clouds your ability to see what truly matters. When you spend your days worrying, you are focusing your attention on what you cannot control instead of trusting the one who controls everything. And the reality is that the plan for your life was not created yesterday. It existed long before you faced the problem that troubles you today. Think about the countless moments in your life when things seemed impossible, yet somehow they worked out. At the time, you may have felt confused, afraid, or even hopeless, but later you look back and realize that every step, even the painful ones, was leading you somewhere important. Life often makes sense when you look backward, not when you are walking through the storm. The reason many people struggle with worry is because they want clarity before they take the next step. They want to know exactly how everything will turn out. They want guarantees that nothing will go wrong, but faith does not work that way. Faith means trusting even when you cannot see the full picture. Imagine trying to walk through a dark path with only a small light in your hand. That light may not show you the entire road ahead, but it shows you enough to take the next step. And as you take that step, the light moves forward with you. That is how divine guidance works in life. You are not shown everything at once. You are given just enough direction to move forward. There are seasons when life feels confusing. Doors close unexpectedly. Opportunities disappear. Plans fall apart. In those moments, it is easy to assume that something has gone terribly wrong. But sometimes the closed door is not a failure. Sometimes it is protection. There are paths that look attractive on the surface, but would lead you into places you were never meant to go. And the one who sees the end from the beginning knows exactly what should be removed from your life. What feels like rejection may actually be redirection. What feels like delay may actually be preparation. What feels like silence may actually be the moment when something greater is being arranged behind the scenes. One of the most powerful truths you can understand is that your life is being guided even when you do not feel it. There are moments when you will pray and feel like nothing is happening. There are seasons when the answers you want do not come immediately. But silence does not mean absence. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean that nothing is happening. Some of the greatest transformations in life take place quietly and invisibly. Seeds grow underground long before they break through the surface. The same is true for your life. Growth is happening even when it is hidden. Many people spend years worrying about their purpose. They ask questions like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Why am I here? What if I make the wrong decision? But the truth is that purpose is not something you discover all at once. It unfolds step by step as you walk forward with trust. Your responsibility is not to figure out every detail of your future. Your responsibility is to remain faithful where you are right now, do the best you can with what you have, make decisions with integrity, treat people with kindness, remain patient during the waiting seasons, and trust that the path will become clearer as you continue walking. The problem with worry is that it keeps you mentally trapped in a future that has not yet arrived. You spend energy fighting battles that may never even happen. You create fear about situations that may resolve themselves in ways you cannot imagine. Worry robs you of the present moment. It steals the joy you could experience today. Peace does not come from knowing every answer. Peace comes from trusting the one who holds every answer. There is incredible freedom in surrender. There's incredible freedom in surrender. When you release your grip on the need to control everything, your heart becomes lighter. You begin to understand that you are not carrying the weight of your life alone. You were never meant to carry it alone. The Creator who designed your life is fully aware of every detail, every dream, every struggle, every hidden fear. Nothing about your story is a surprise, not your mistakes, not your disappointments, not your detours. Even the moments you regret can be used as stepping stones towards something meaningful. The remarkable thing about divine purpose is that it can weave together both victories and failures into a story that still leads somewhere beautiful. So when you feel anxious about the future, remind yourself of this truth. The plan for your life is greater than the problems you see today. You may not understand the timing. You may not understand the process. But you can trust the direction. Instead of filling your mind with endless worry, fill it with confidence that your steps are being guided. Every challenge you face can shape your character. Every delay can deepen your patience. Every obstacle can strengthen your faith. What looks like a setback today may be preparing you for responsibility tomorrow. There will come a day when you look back at the seasons that once filled you with fear, and you will realize that those very moments were guiding you exactly where you needed to be. And in that moment, you will understand that the path was never random, the struggles were never meaningless, and the plan for your life was always unfolding with perfect wisdom. Worry is one of the most common struggles people face in everyday life. It often begins quietly with a small concern about the future and slowly grows into a constant weight on the mind. People worry about their careers, their families, their finances, their health, and the countless unknowns that tomorrow might bring. The human mind has a natural tendency to imagine worst-case scenarios, to replay fears over and over again as if thinking about them repeatedly will somehow prepare us for what might happen. But the truth is that worry does not strengthen a person for the future. Instead, it weakens the spirit in the present. When someone spends too much time worrying, their thoughts become trapped in possibilities that have not even happened. Hours are spent imagining problems that may never occur. Energy is drained from the mind and heart, leaving a person feeling exhausted, anxious, and discouraged. Worry begins to steal the very things that make life meaningful. It steals peace of mind. It steals joy from the present moment. It steals the ability to appreciate what is already good in life. The reason worry has such power is because people often believe they are responsible for controlling every outcome in their lives. They feel as if they must figure everything out on their own. Every decision must be perfect. Every plan must succeed. Every step must lead exactly where they expect. When life does not unfold according to those expectations, fear quickly enters the heart. But life was never meant to be carried with that kind of pressure. No human being has the ability to predict every outcome or control every circumstance. The future will always contain uncertainty, and no amount of worrying can remove that uncertainty. Worry simply creates the illusion that constant thinking will somehow produce control. In reality, worry is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives the appearance of movement, but it never actually takes you anywhere. The mind may be racing with thoughts, trying to solve problems that have not even appeared yet nothing truly changes. Peace begins when a person realizes that life is not a random collection of events. There is a greater wisdom guiding the journey. The same power that created the world understands every detail of your life, including the parts that you do not yet understand. When this truth becomes real in the heart, worry begins to lose its grip. Trust does something that worry never can. Worry fills the mind with fear about what might go wrong. Trust fills the heart with confidence that things can still work out, even when the situation looks uncertain. Trust does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. It simply means believing that those problems are not greater than the plan that exists for your life. Think about the moments in your past when you were deeply worried about something. At that time, it may have seemed overwhelming. You may have wondered how you would ever make it through, but as time passed, the situation changed. Solutions appeared, opportunities opened, or strength grew within you that you did not know you had. Looking back now, many of those worries probably seem unnecessary. The things that once kept you awake at night may have eventually worked themselves out in ways you never expected. This happens more often than people realize. The mind creates fear about situations that time eventually resolves. Trust changes the way a person experiences life. Instead of constantly living in fear of tomorrow, they begin to focus on the responsibilities and blessings of today. Their mind becomes clearer because it is no longer filled with endless what-if questions. They understand that while they must make wise choices and work diligently, they are not carrying the entire weight of the future on their shoulders. Another important truth about worry is that it distracts people from the present moment. When someone is constantly thinking about future problems, they lose the ability to fully experience the life that is happening right now. They may be surrounded by opportunities, relationships, and moments of joy, yet their attention remains fixed on fears that exist only in their imagination. Trust allows a person to live with greater freedom. Instead of trying to control every detail of life, they accept that some things are beyond human understanding. This acceptance does not create weakness. In fact, it produces strength. When the heart is not overwhelmed by anxiety, it becomes easier to think clearly, make wise decisions, and face challenges with courage. Trust also creates patience. Worry demands immediate answers, immediate solutions, immediate solutions, and immediate solutions and immediate solutions. It results, trust understands that some things take time. Just as nature moves through seasons, life also moves through seasons of growth, waiting, change, and renewal. Every season has a purpose, even when that purpose is not immediately visible. Every season has a purpose, even when that purpose is not immediately visible. People who learn to trust often discover a deep sense of calm even during difficult circumstances. Problems may still exist, but those problems no longer dominate their thoughts every moment of the day. Instead of living in constant fear, they move forward step by step with confidence that the path ahead is being guided. Over time, this mindset transforms the way a person sees their entire journey. Challenges become opportunities for growth, rather than sources of constant anxiety. Uncertainty becomes a place where faith can grow stronger. Instead of asking, what if everything goes wrong? The heart begins to ask, what if everything is working together for a purpose I cannot yet see? Life rarely moves in a straight line. People often imagine their future as a clear path where effort leads directly to success and every plan unfolds exactly as expected. Yet reality is very different. Doors that once seemed open suddenly close. Opportunities that appeared promising disappeared without explanation. Carefully made plans fall apart, leaving confusion and disappointment behind. In those moments, it is easy to assume that something has gone terribly wrong. When a door closes, the natural reaction is frustration. Questions begin to fill the mind. Why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Why didn't things work out the way I hoped? The human heart tends to interpret these moments as failure or rejection, but sometimes what appears to be a setback is actually a form of protection or guidance that cannot yet be understood. Many people only recognize this truth when they look back at their past. There may have been a job they desperately wanted but never received. At the time, it felt like a crushing disappointment. Yet years later, they realized that if they had received that job, they might never have discovered the opportunity that eventually changed their life for the better. There may have been relationships that ended painfully, only for those endings to lead toward healthier and more meaningful connections later on. Closed doors often redirect people toward places they were truly meant to go. What feels like rejection may actually be a redirection toward a path that aligns more closely with a greater purpose. The difficulty is that this truth is rarely visible in the moment. When someone is standing in front of a closed door, they cannot yet see the door that will eventually open somewhere else. Delays are another part of life that can feel incredibly discouraging People naturally want progress to happen quickly. They set goals, make plans, and hope to see results as soon as possible. When things take longer than expected, impatience begins to grow. Doubt starts whispering that perhaps the dream will never happen, but delays are not always signs that something is wrong. Often they are seasons of preparation. Growth requires time, even when that time feels uncomfortable. Just as a tree does not grow to its full height overnight, personal development also happens gradually. Strength, wisdom, patience, and character are built through experiences that cannot be rushed. A seed placed in the soil does not immediately become a plant. For a long period of time, nothing appears to be happening on the surface. If someone looked at the ground during that stage, they might assume that the seed had failed. Yet beneath the soil, an incredible process is taking place. Roots are forming. Life is developing quietly, hidden from view. When the right moment arrives, the plant finally breaks through the surface and begins to grow visibly. Life works in much the same way. Some of the most important developments happen during seasons when progress seems invisible. A person may be learning patience through difficult circumstances. They may be gaining wisdom through challenges that test their perseverance. They may be developing strength that will later be needed to carry greater responsibilities. Without these seasons of preparation, success might arrive before someone is truly ready to handle it. What looks like a delay could actually be the time needed for growth to take place. When the opportunity finally arrives, the individual is stronger, wiser, and far more prepared than they were before. It is also important to understand that human vision is limited. People can only see a small portion of the future. Decisions are often made based on what appears beneficial at the moment, but the long-term consequences are rarely clear. That looks exciting today might eventually lead to difficulty or regret. This is why closed doors sometimes serve as protection. When an opportunity disappears, it may be preventing a person from entering a situation that would have brought greater hardship later on. Even though the immediate disappointment feels painful, it could be saving someone from experiences that would have been far more damaging. Many of the most successful and fulfilled individuals have stories filled with unexpected setbacks. Plans change. Opportunities vanish. They experience moments where it seemed as if progress had stopped completely. Yet those same moments eventually guided them towards something better than they originally imagined. When people learn to trust the process of life, their perspective begins to change. Instead of seeing every closed door as a failure, they begin to see it as a possible redirection. Instead of viewing delays as wasted time, they start to recognize them as opportunities for preparation and growth. This mindset creates resilience. Disappointments still happen, but they no longer destroy hope. A person begins to understand that the journey is larger than any single moment of failure or delay. Every experience, whether positive or painful, can contribute to shaping the path ahead. Eventually, there comes a moment when someone looks back at their life and sees how all the pieces fit together. The job they didn't get led them to a better opportunity. The path that closed forced them to discover a new direction. The delay that once felt unbearable gave them the strength and wisdom they needed for the future. What once looked like confusion slowly reveals itself as guidance that was quietly shaping the journey all along. Many people spend a large portion of their lives searching for their purpose. They ask deep questions about why they are here and what they are meant to accomplish. They want clarity about the future and a clear map that shows every step they should take. When those answers do not appear quickly, frustration and doubt begin to grow. Some start to believe they are lost or that they have somehow missed the path they were supposed to follow. The truth is that purpose rarely appears all at once. Life is not designed to reveal its entire plan in a single moment. Instead, purpose unfolds gradually, step by step, often through ordinary decisions and daily experiences. Just like a long journey is completed one step at a time, a meaningful life is built through many small choices made consistently over time. People often think they must discover their ultimate calling before they begin moving forward. They wait for a moment of perfect clarity that explains everything about their future. But waiting for complete certainty can lead to standing still for far too long. Purpose is not something that simply appears while a person waits. It is something that becomes clearer as a person continues to walk forward with faith and commitment. Imagine walking along a path at night with only a small lantern to guide you. That lantern may not illuminate the entire road ahead. It may only reveal a few steps in front of you. Yet those few steps are enough to keep moving. As you walk forward, the light moves forward with you, revealing the next part of the path. Life often works in the same way. Guidance usually comes just one step at a time. Instead of seeing the entire future, a person is given enough understanding to make the next decision. When that step is taken with sincerity and integrity, the next step eventually becomes visible. This is why focusing on the present moment is so important. The future is shaped by the choices made today. Living faithfully in the present is one of the most powerful ways to move toward meaningful purpose. Faithfulness means doing the right thing, even when the outcome is uncertain. It means giving your best effort, even when recognition does not immediately appear. Purpose is often revealed through responsibility. When a person handles small tasks with care and dedication, they gradually prove that they can be trusted with greater opportunities. Someone who is dependable in small matters often finds doors opening to larger roles over time. Growth naturally follows consistent faithfulness. Character also plays a major role in the unfolding of purpose. Talents and abilities are important, but character determines how those abilities are used. Integrity, humility, patience, and kindness shape the way a person influences the world around them. When these qualities are developed, they create a foundation strong enough to support meaningful success. Many individuals worry constantly about making the wrong decision. They fear that one mistake could permanently ruin their future. This fear can become paralyzing. Instead of moving forward, they hesitate, unsure of which direction to choose. But life allows room for learning and growth. Mistakes are often part of the process that shapes wisdom. Some of the most important lessons come through experiences that did not go exactly as planned. Those lessons refine judgment and strengthen the ability to make better decisions in the future. Even unexpected detours can contribute to the discovery of purpose. A person may begin walking down one path, only to realize later that their passion lies somewhere else. The experiences gained along the first path still provide valuable knowledge and perspective. Nothing learned is truly wasted. Over time, these experiences begin to connect like pieces of a puzzle. Skills developed in one season become useful in another. Relationships formed in one stage of life lead to opportunities in the next. What once seemed like random events start to reveal a deeper pattern. This is why patience is so essential when searching for purpose. The desire for instant clarity can create unnecessary stress. Life unfolds in chapters, and each chapter contributes something important to the overall story. Some chapters focus on learning. Others focus on growth. Some focus on serving others or building relationships. As each chapter passes, a clearer sense of direction begins to emerge. The passions that energize you become easier to recognize. The abilities that come naturally begin to stand out. The ways you can positively impact others become more visible. When a person looks back over the years, they often realize that purpose was quietly forming all along. The opportunities that appeared, the lessons learned through challenges, and the relationships that shaped their journey all played a role in guiding them forward. Instead of a single dramatic moment of discovery, purpose often reveals itself through steady progress and faithful living. By focusing on doing what is right today, by continuing to learn and grow, and by remaining open to new opportunities, a person gradually walks into the life they were meant to live. Step by step, decision by decision, the path becomes clear, and what once felt uncertain slowly transforms into a journey filled with meaning, direction, and lasting impact. As you reflect on your life, you will realize that many of the things that once caused you the greatest worry were moments that later shaped your greatest growth. The sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, the seasons of waiting, and the unexpected detours were never meaningless. Each of them was quietly guiding you, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for the next step in your journey. Life may not always unfold according to your personal timeline, but that does not mean the plan has failed. It simply means the process is still unfolding. There will always be moments when the future feels uncertain. There will be days when you wish you had clearer answers and stronger guarantees about what lies ahead. But the beauty of life is that it was never meant to be controlled completely by human understanding. Instead, it was designed to be lived with trust, patience, and courage. When you release the burden of trying to control every detail, your heart becomes lighter and your perspective becomes clearer. You begin to see that even the challenges you face can become stepping stones towards something meaningful. The truth is that your life is not moving in random directions. Every experience, every lesson, and every unexpected turn has the potential to shape a greater purpose. Even the delays and disappointments you once feared may be preparing you for opportunities you cannot yet imagine. The path may not always be easy to understand, but that does not mean it lacks direction. Often the greatest plans are unfolding quietly behind the scenes while you simply continue taking the next faithful step. When you stop worrying about tomorrow and start trusting the process of your journey, you begin to experience a deeper kind of peace. Your mind becomes free from constant anxiety, and your heart becomes open to hope. Instead of asking, what if everything goes wrong? You begin to believe that even the difficult moments can eventually lead to something good. One day you will look back on the seasons that once filled you with fear and uncertainty, and you will see how every step was guiding you exactly where you needed to be. So stop worrying, trust the journey, and remember this truth. The plan for your life is already greater than the problems you are facing today.